Alright, hello, hello, hello. How are you guys? How's it going there, FS? What's happening? Let's go ahead and we're going to do some build work here. I got a message back from JSI, so the fire truck doesn't need to be in until the end of the 18th, so that's good. Hopefully be done before that anyway, but need to do a bunch of stuff, workshop page especially, but fire truck's pretty good so far. We'll take a look at it, try to make sure that's all wrapped up. And then I think hopefully be good to go with that. Let's take a quick look at the editor, see if there's anything I really want to add. I want to kind of keep it on the simple side. I don't want to go ultra nonsense everywhere, so I need to keep that in mind. I'm digging on it. Doesn't need to be ultra crazy. But functionally, everything was working there. Electricity. Check the trailer. I think everything was working on the trailer. Mostly just wrapping that up, I think. So that'll be on the agenda. Water was working. Panels working. APU is working. All that's good. So this needs a little bit of detailing here. So what I'll probably do is... Can I put a dial vertical? I think I can. I'm not sure. Grab this dial. No, can't go there. Seat really can't go back more. I don't know. I don't know what to put in here. I kind of want to keep it on the simple side, but could use some stuff in here. Definitely a radio. Maybe bang that out, put a radio in here. Radio flashlights, put some stuff in there. You need to check the speed test too. Okay. flush a little bit of detail out of this sucker here. Okay. I'll do a little something for it in there. Ladders work, and most of that stuff's good. APU's good, all that. I can't think of much else I need on this, so that's good. Kind of get that. Check the handle, make sure all the controls are on here. AD is yaw. Up / down. Ladder yaw, right there, okay. Nozzle swivel, nozzle pitch, that's good. Trigger is release. Ladder. Locks. Okay. Let's toggle. Extend ladder. Retract the ladder is 2. Sprayer light. All right. Sprayer water. Okay. All right, so I think that's pretty good there. Let's save that up. I'd like to get into something new, would be fun too. I've got to take my allergy pill, so I have to hear me clear my throat until I take that, so. How's it going there, CG? What's happening? Alright, take that trash out there, FS. How's it going, Rasmus? What's happening? How do I connect lights and things through a cable? Okay, I'll show you in a second. So let's answer CG's question. So how to connect lights to a cable. So essentially, like, what do you want to do? Like, explain the exact application. Like, are you trying to do trailer lights? Is that what you're talking about? So, like, let's see. Like, if you're gonna do trailer lights here, I'll make a quick little jig. So, like, say you're doing trailer lights. Let's just do this. Like, here's the packed car chassis. Let's say you want to pass through some brake lights. There's a couple ways to do it. Let's say you're going to do it as, it doesn't really matter, indicator lights and on-off switch. So these are on-off switch. Let's say these are brake lights. Just make kind of a faux bumper in the back here, if it will let me drag where I want it, not where it wants me to drag. Put a couple indicator lights on here, so we'll say that's brake lights, and then let's say these are your running lights, so you come on like that, paint them up. Alright, so let's say those are the lights you want to pass through, and so make a quick controller. Make it pink here. It's gonna be a pain to put it there. Let's put it right there. I can expand a little bit. Alright, so pretty simple. We'll go in here. We'll say, let's see what I want to do. Let's see. We get to seat. Seat. So there's a couple ways you can do it. One, you can essentially write all of it, or the easiest way to do is pass it through, pass the seat through. And so what I would personally do is pass the seat through. So first thing you do is, we command the lights on the car, and the reason you do this is you can use the same microcontroller. So we'll do that. So to composite seat. Let's see what Rasmus is saying. Oh, nice. That's cool. Is that Rasmus? Is that what's your name on Discord? I saw one this morning. Was that yours? And so we're going to take the seat in, and then we want to just run out. So let's say, I don't know, one is headlights. So that's output headlights. And let's say brake lights, right? So that's output brake lights. Okay, brake lights. So pretty simple. We'll just do this. Zing, zang. All right. So let's say it's a very simple system. That's all we're doing. You can make this to your heart's content. I just figure we'll show you this way. So pretty simple here. I want my brake lights to come on when the S key is pressed and we're braking. So what we'll do is we'll read a number. WS is 2. If this is less than 0, you can even do a delta, but we'll just do less than 0. So if the brake pedal is less than 0, that's going to say put on your brake lights like so. And then what we'll do is we'll do seat 1 is going to be your headlights. So that is essentially how we have it set up on the seat. So it's the same thing. You'd be sending a composite out. So, and then what we want to do is, so this is the easiest way to do it. So we do that. We want to then hook up the composite from the seat to there. We want to hook up our brake lights, which are going to be inboards, and then we'll hook up our headlights, which are running lights. So those will go up to the headlights, but these lights will come on as running lights when those go on. So you go in, pretty simple. Sit in the seat, press the S key. Did I plug them in wrong? Put electricity on? There we go. Alright, so there are brake lights there. We press on the 1 key. There goes the headlights. So I don't know what's up with the other brake light. Did I not plug it in? I didn't plug it in, so okay. So here's the brake light. So, and you see you have that working, brake lights, headlights. Okay, brake lights, headlights, pretty simple. Okay, so then what you want to do is, let's say we have a trailer. All right, so you can do it a couple ways. One, you can put a connector on there. So we take a connector, we stick a connector on the bumper. That's how we're going to hook our trailer up. All right, and then we will go like that. All right, here's your trailer. So we're going to set up the trailer. All right, here's your trailer. These set to 1s. These are set to 1s as well. Okay. All right, and so then you want to set up your brake lights the same, or set the lights up here. All right, so we have the same lights on our trailer like so. All right, good. And so all we need to do now is we would have the same controller, and this is why I like doing it this way, is you can use the same controller, and you put it here. And this will also allow you to you can pass brake information through, you can do all that. So then what you want to do is, since this controller is just reading the seat, you then take your composite and you plug it into the composite on the connector. And then you take the data from the connector, you plug it in here, and then you would do headlights, brake lights there. And then when we connect, it's going through. And then as we press our brake lights, you'll notice they all light up. And then you press your headlights, the running lights come on. So that's a simple way to do it. You can do that with anything. You do that with indicator lights if you prefer the look of that, but essentially you're just passing all the information to the seat through. The benefit with this is, for example, you know, trailer this size, you probably don't need it, but if you wanted to pass through brake information, you can then have a trailer controller that's a little bit different. And you would go in here and you add a node and you go logic out, number output, and then this would be brakes. And now this signal is still coming from the seat, so all you'd have to do is you plug in 2 to brakes. And what you want to do is you want to invert that. So what you do is you can either do an ABS, which gives you the absolute value. So if it's positive, it's going to give you brakes. It's going to give you negative, so you don't want that. What you want is you would want a, yeah, you don't want an absolute. You want to do a function and just do a negative X. So when the S is pressed, it's giving you a negative number, which would take the brakes off. So that's wrong. So by doing it like this, when you press the W key, it's normally a positive number. What it will do now is give it a negative number, releasing the brakes. And then when you press the S key, normally a negative number will make it a positive number, applying the brakes. And then by doing that, you can easily add to this controller whatever you want. So you then plug the brakes in. So that's why I like doing it this way, is you can have a light controller for you know, the vehicle, and then anything else you want to pass through. So you'd have a vehicle light controller and then a trailer light controller, and all you're doing is pass through the seat information. So that makes sense to you there, CG? Yep, that's what I figured. I was looking at that this morning. Yep, that's neat. I like that. Yeah, I have one like that. Let me load it up here. This is one of the container movers that I would say is like that. That's the tractor for it. Here it is. So this is on the workshop. This is a container mover I have here, and so it's a similar system. What you do is you back into, you would take this trailer unit here. We'll actually do it. Might as well play with it. All right, we'll put the container right there, so I don't have to drive around too much. We'll load a preset container in. All right, so the way this system works, this is what was made originally for this. I've taken this on Triton before. That's why it has like the hooks on the top. Is this will fit in Triton, but it's more, you know, space hoggy. And so what you do with this one is you would let's see, release interlink, release connector, pistons. Okay, you drop the pistons, and then you'd come in here. And that connects. And then we'll put it in neutral, put the brake, it would come out. You would then go and you want to release the interlink. So that parking brake off. Okay, so you release the interlink, and then you can go forward. I have the parking brake on. There we go. So yeah, your system kind of reminds me of this truck. Similar to this. So then use the camera. How's the music volume, guys? You know if it's too loud or if it's good. I'm just doing third person, make it a little bit quicker. Problem with this is I can't shift gears. That's one reason why I changed the way I do my gear shifts now to the up-down, is I can go in third if I need to and shift gears. I don't have to keep going back and forth. So it's kind of old school thought here. All right, that's close enough. Okay. And we would lower the pistons, and then you can just, once one's grabbed, you can just power into it. So there we go. Okay, set the brake, go out here, and then what we want to do is that's parking brake off. Okay, we want to raise it. And so as you can see, that lifts the container up. And so this system actually uses, because of you know, you essentially have 3 segments. You have the tractor, the lead, and the kite. All my brake information is passed via radio. So this first one used the light cord. The back one, as you can see, it has an antenna somewhere on there. That passes radio through there. So the radio actually puts the brakes on this. So that's my kind of notion of this. So like, you see how it keeps jackknifing? That's because I'm not hitting the brakes. So if I tap the brakes, it will, like here, tap the brakes, it won't jackknife. So that's kind of my thing. So yours kind of reminded me of this old vehicle, but this is what I used to use for Triton. Takes a little bit, you know, I like it, but it takes, you know, your system I think is a little bit quicker because, you know, you've got the seat on there and you're looking straight ahead, so that makes it a little bit more convenient to use than this. This is a little bit more laborious than to use, so that's one of the reasons why I made the new system, is to try to keep my labor down so it doesn't take me forever to load these up. But this is kind of what that's all about. It works reasonably, but I like the new system. I like yours. Yours is pretty cool too. I like that. Let's see. When you get a second, Rasmus, if you don't mind going into... Did you fill out the other names? If you could do that for me at some point, that's good. That way it's always nice to know the people's different names on what they use. Oh, thank you there, FS. I appreciate that. Yeah, I like your design though, Rasmus. That's a good design, especially with sitting, you know, actually being able to look straight ahead. It makes it nice and easy to be able to see what you're working with. This one isn't bad, but it's, you know, it's hard to get this to weigh enough, and it's just kind of laborious to put this together. So that's why I came up with the new system. And this takes up a good bit of space. I can fit all this in, but like I have to detach the trailer, and then I use the hook to drop this mini truck into Triton. And then I have to use this hook here is at the center of gravity, so I use that hook and drop that into the garage. So it's a process with that one. Let's see. I kind of want to build something. I'm trying to think what I want to build here. Yeah, like this is some of the stuff. This was, so it's kind of interesting. We can go through. I save, like I literally have everything saved that I've ever built, and I back them all up. So we can go through a bunch of my container stuff. Like, it's interesting. So, like, container template. Then, like, you start looking. This is when I get into container lifters. Like, this system works fine, but it's cumbersome. You know, this is good. You can spawn other trains, but it's cumbersome. So I kind of moved on from that. This one is essentially, this one here turned into this, which I use this to load my airplanes. We'll find the most recent version of that. I think I've shown you that one before. Here's just a trailer for some of my mini vehicles. This was the first iteration of the expandable carriage for Triton to be able to lift. Then this was like, this was the first iteration of that thing I just showed, with the trailers. And then I tried side loading. Side loading's no picnic. Yeah, I was trying to get compact. Okay, this moves the container lifter. This was the original container shifter. It's all weight blocks. And so you had to trailer and then connect the lifter, and then I made it so it's expandable, so that's much better. So that's this right here. You can see. So like that morphed into this, and then from there I morphed into, you know, how it's pre-connected so that can still spawn to the train bases. Then this was like the first, you know, I tried doing it a dolly system with my electric cart, and then I switched it out to be the truck. Let's see, what else we got? Yeah. There's container shifter. I really wanted, so like I've operated a lot of pups of these 28-foot trailers, and the issue is you have to do a permanently affixed dolly. It will work fine if you do a permanently affixed dolly, but you can't do it like this with a non-permanently affixed dolly, so I'll have to permanently affix this, which kind of is gross to me, because they, you know, if you do it with a connector, these wheels will sink into the ground. The game doesn't like it, so what you have to do is you have to use a, you have to permanently attach it, the dolly. So that's kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. And then here is like, you know, another iteration trying to do a, you know, a compact container mover. I'm really liking the new one's good. Here is the, so this was the one I just made replaced. I actually used the base of this yesterday to build it. So this was like the jacking system. So you see like, it's compact, but it's still like over, it's too much. It's too laborious. And there were so many times that I knock this off of the tracks, and then I have literally no way to put it back on. I have to go get a vehicle to go drag it off and fix it. So that's, you know, why I kind of changed that. So this is what we actually started working on yesterday, was this here. But, and then, you know, get into it. So it's kind of neat how these evolve. Like, I showed some of, like, Triton, you know, yesterday. It was coming through, and you had, you know, like, you could see, you know, the first version before I actually got to Triton, and then, like, just having, like, trying to get the shape right, and then it moves on from there. Like, you see how many copies of Triton have? Because it's such a complex ship, I like make copy. Because if I ever lose it, I'm gonna pull my hair out. Cab over chassis. The chassis is done. So, or the chassis not done. Let's not say that. So when I built the cab over that I just built, it was on this chassis. And so that's what it's designed for. Is this chassis will eventually go in the workshop when I get it finished. And all I did to make the cab over was you move this section. So you pretty much, like, to make this a cab over, all you're doing is this. I could make a purpose-built cab over chassis, but literally all you're doing, and this is literally all I did, was you cut this, and now you have a cab over. You know, that's literally all I did with that last, when I turned that into a cab over, was I took the truck chassis again and I put it over the motor. You know, I could theoretically make one where you know, ideally you're supposed to have a hump in the middle. So maybe I'll make one with a hump at some point. But these chassis, I want to get these chassis out, so I need to. Part of the whole point when I made the cab over was the cab over is supposed to be the new gold standard. And once this is done, I'm gonna take all the microcontrollers on this and I'm gonna put them on the chassis. And that way it'll work. The chassis will all work. There'll be an 18, a 10, and a 13 speed. So the chassis will eventually get done. That's the holdup for them. The Maz, I don't know how many copies of the Maz I have. The Maz was this won one of the Stormy Awards. It was this was for a Jersey challenge, but the Maz I made lots of iterative copies. So it's kind of neat to see its progression from, you know, kind of show the first version to the last version. So like that's the first version, you know, basic, and just kind of make sure it works. And then the last one was this is the final version. That's it finished. So but just it's kind of neat to see the versions of. It's funny, this thing, because it doesn't have up grip tires, this is can haul less. And this has two 20s in it. This has twin motors, twin 20s in it, and I think a 13-speed gearbox. This is less powerful than the Macar Wrecker. The Macar Wrecker can pull anything. So that Big Johnny is less powerful than this because this has up grip tires. So it's just interesting. But you couldn't do grip tires for Jersey's challenge, so. Yeah, so I might do a cab over, like there's you do a hump. There's a hump, and the engine part of the top of the engine sits kind of in the cab with you. But so I might make a cab over an actual like just chassis. All I have to do is like move that and put a hump in there. But you know, that's pretty simple on that. Let's see. Why's my phone blowing up? Let's see what I want to work on. Bang together a car would be kind of nice. You know, I keep finishing things up, so it's kind of nice to move on and build something. Let's do this. Let's go, and I want to. So I have a couple vehicles. I made some couple mini vehicles that will fit in planes. So I can show them here. I made this amphibious car here. Where is it here? This one. So I made this amphibious car, and this will fit. What is it? 7. This will fit in Albatross. It will not fit in like the stall airplane. Will not fit in Night Owl. And then I made. It's not a Jeep. I forget what I called it. Like the mini truck doesn't fit in Night Owl. It's too tall. What the hell did I call it? We'll find it here. It's a little Jeep thing that I built that will fit in the back. Here it is. This is a 5X car because it's 5 wide. So like this will fit in a bunch of my airplanes, and this will, you know, this could also go in Triton. But what I want to do is I want to actually figure out what's the biggest car I can put in Triton, and maybe we'll make something like I want to be able to like offload a car from Triton and go do some missions with the car, you know, so it needs to be versatile. I have a couple cars. We'll see what that is. That's 17 by 13. 17 by 13. Okay, so let's... I think that's what we'll do. We'll make a vehicle purpose-built to go into Triton. 17 by 13. Let's see. And then we'll mark out our space here with the pinky bloke. So, just see, huh? So 17, and then what's the width on this sucker? 13's there, so that's 17 by 13. So as long as it fits within the pink blocks, we are good. Nope, be there. Okay. Measure it one more time. Okay. So there we go. So that is 17 by 13. So that will just fit. So we probably likely want to knock a block off. Width is fine. I can kind of contort it in, but I don't want to do too much. We check a little bit of the old Chatteroni here. Got to move up a little bit. Oh, neat. First hull was only... Yeah, the, you know, hulls take a bunch of work. How's it going there, Niv? Yeah, I'm pretty much not going to build another from-scratch truck. It's going to be off the chassis. That's one of the reasons I built them, too, is for myself, is being able to just take the chassis and be able to take a chassis. It's still like, you saw how long that cab over took me. It's not done. I had to do a lot of microcontrollers, but part of the thing is when I want a new truck, I just take the chassis and just, you know, build the shell, and all the microcontrollers should work. And that's one of the reasons why I want to get that done, is it makes it easy, like taking this car chassis. So same reason why I made this car chassis, is it just makes it so much easier to get things done. So let's do a block on the front and a block on the back. Space-wise, so it's gonna have to be a pretty tiny car here. Let's see. All right. What do we have width-wise? What is the width on this? 11 maybe? No, 9. It's probably a 9 wider. Yeah, it's 9 wide, so we could do 7. Yeah, so we could do 2 regular seats, or we could do a seat and a padded. I think we'll do seat and a padded. I just prefer that, I think. So it's gonna be a car. Let's get rid of the flywheel. That saves me a bunch of nonsense. Let's go like this. I'm gonna finish that transmission tutorial at some point. I want to knock this down a little bit too, so let's paste that. Again, the whole point of the chassis is to move things around, so I can move things all around. So I'm going to move this engine down. That was like people were asking that when I did the challenge, and that was part of the whole reason I did that challenge was the point of the chassis is to just take it and the guts work, and you want to move things around. You can do that. It's it has that versatility. You just kind of move whatever you want. Like often, especially trucks, you'll order a truck, they have a bunch of chassis made, and you just order the truck to spec that you want. So they, they drop the transmission in, or they already have a chassis all set up with the transmission and the engine that you want. You just put that set in there. Okay, that's fine there. I need a little cab space. Right, we will put the transmission probably centrally located here, so let's go. Wonder if the big man car could fit on Triton. Pretty much, I've been blacking out everything lately because it makes it really easy to. I can go back and I can, like, for example, if you have a bunch of white underneath your build, it sticks out like a sore thumb, and so you have to manually go in and do that. So I try to color swap it out to this, like, ultra black, and then I can, I don't have to worry about seeing it. Transfer case there. Okay. And then so we're going to figure wheels need to go there. Bumper. All right. Go like, how close can we get? That's probably, no, we can actually go one closer. Beautiful. I can't put, that can be, that's going to be in the foot, where his foot goes. So let's back that up just one hair. I don't need this big of an engine probably either. Problem is I need to merge the manifolds. Let's do a test really quick. I'm going to paste this really quick and save this. Let's see. I'm curious how big this car is. I think car funny today. I don't know why. That is 7. Okay, good. That is 17. That about fits. So I'm trying to think space-wise, because this has a transverse engine in it. So that with a transverse fits pretty well. Alright, so that's interesting. So let's see. So what I might do is rip this apart a little bit. Like, if we look in this car, it has this transverse. This is a 3-cylinder engine. What I think I might do is rip the guts out of this. Let's keep this car, and here, we'll do this. Because this car, I don't want to get into a project that take me 100 years, but kind of reshell this car a little bit, I think. Yeah, I think we'll reshell this car because there's like a lot of XML work and stuff to do in here. So we'll do. I think that's going to be the best thing, is to reshell this and repurpose, because this is like right on the money, and so I'll do a different design car on this, and that way we can kind of, because the systems work well in this. They're all done. What is this? That's part of the hatch. Okay. Wonder how big the insect is, too. I built the insect at one point. Oh, don't do that, please. There we go. Give me the brush. Okay. That's part of the issue with building small stuff, is it's challenging to get some of this in. If I'm doing rescues too, I need at least a couple seats, and so trying to build it with that long 6-cylinder is not going to work. Having this transverse really helps to save some space. Kind of need the lights up there if I'm gonna have. Okay. So yeah, I think this will save us a little bit of headache trying to get things done here. Trying to get general shaping kind of thought out here. I don't want to spend too long on this project. I don't want this to turn into a week project trying to get it done, you know. I'm kind of thinking no eyebrow. Let's go back there. Can we come down one? See, the problem is your head sticks up above that seat a little bit, so. So like, see, that is max height you want on that. Read some chat here. I'm trying to think what I want to do. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's probably the same as pivot glitch. The more bodies you have, the more flotation you get. Oh, interesting. Niv, let me look. Video request, where is it? I see it. No, it's in there. Do you just put it in now, Niv? It's in there, the track trail chassis. Let's see. Let me actually, before I go ahead and build another new car, let's check a couple things. I want to check a couple of my cars. There are a couple cars I built that I haven't had a chance to use because I haven't found a good use case for them. So the insect is 1. Let's measure the insect. If I can find one that will fit in Triton, I think we're good. So let's kind of not really feeling like doing another car right away. Let's see. Come on, let me test the width, you scum. There we go. This is the insect based off of Miata. Okay, so that is 7. That's perfect. Okay. And what's the length? I haven't had any good excuse to use 17. This works. Okay, this fits. Let's try to, we'll do some loading, see if I can't get this into Triton. Of course the CG's there. Why wouldn't it be? What's this? Okay. So CG, that's not terrible. Let's try, what are you? Of course you're a microcontroller. Why wouldn't you be? Let's do this. We'll make this work here. Yeah, I was gonna build a new car, but I'm not feeling a car, so let's see. That is, and then do I have other connect points here? Let's take the insect for a little drive. Okay, that's what's that got, a 4-cylinder? 4-cylinder in there. So this has a bigger engine than the big man car. Okay, good. So this has a bunch of rescue equipment. This is kind of parking brake on. Oh, Jesus. Something's up with the steering. What's up with the steer? You go to the steering here. Just have steering seat. Angular speed right there. I didn't delete the angular. No, the angular speed's there. Okay. Let's go. That's why. Okay. 20, and then what is that at? Try that. That's some of the tuning that you have to do. Like, you know, people take the steering controller I made, the tutorial, and you need to tune it to the car you have. So, you know, you have a long wheelbase. If the longer your wheelbase, the less likely you're gonna have stability problems. Anyways, the vehicle wants to go straight, so you can run a higher, lower p-value dependent upon that, and then depending on, like, if you want a truck, maybe you want some slower steering. Like this, I've increased the steering sensitivity to 20. So, like, some people are using that on the Big Man Challenge. They were saying it wasn't, you know, you couldn't steer enough, and you know, tell them just increase the p-value or increase the steering sensitivity, and that will fix you up there. So yeah, I think we're just gonna stick with this little car here. I haven't had a good chance to use some of these cars. I built a bunch of cars and I've had no chance to use them, so it'd be kind of nice to use one that I've already built. And, you know, nothing's done. These could all use a little bit of extra work and detailing, so it gives me an impetus to do that. Let's load Triton up. So, let's see. Somebody was... Let me see if they're here. Mazik. I doubt Mazik's here, but if they had a question, I'll show everybody, and then I can clip it for that person of how this works. So they're asking how this last segment on the crane always points down. So it's pretty simple. I have a pivot on here, and this pivot then is controlled by a microcontroller. And if you also look on here, there is a, where the hell is it? Right here, tilt sensor right below this pivot. And that's how I do the, keep this always pointing to the ground. You could make it free swinging, but the reason I don't do that is it takes extra time, as you have to wait for the mass to just kind of stabilize and stop itself. And so if we look at the logic on this, it's right here. Very simple. It's, you take the tilt sensor, and this is the old PID, and so your set point is 0. You want 0 tilt, and then you bring in the tilt sensor as your process variable constant on signal. Negative X, I have a p-value of 2, 0, 0. Negative X, pivots. That's it. Ultra simple. Couldn't be simpler. And that keeps that always pointing straight down based on the tilt sensor. So. Oh, I want to add pistons to the, let me write that down. I'm trying to get all the fire truck stuff wrapped up too. So I want to add pistons to the ladder. I got to test that out too. Pistons on ladder. Fire truck. Okay, good. So let's see. What do I need? I need to not fly around. Okay. Put you away there, guy. Okay. I wish I could get these smaller, but they're kind of bulky and annoying. They're not too bad, you know. They have to be kind of big. You figure they'd be on this big crane, but like, got their microcontrollers on there and everything else. Let's see. We have infinite electricity. I think we do. Yep. Okay. So we found out yesterday that the pads are directional. Did I save that? I did. Okay. We put some marks on the deck plates there yesterday. I want to make sure I left them on there. Oh, let's see. Can't really see my shackle right yet. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. You pull one of the panels, try to stick the insect inside. Okay. I need to separate these buttons, but it drops both panels. I want it to drop one. But definitely good yesterday to find out that those do, in fact, behave directionally. So. How's it going, Aaron? I just saw you came in. Yep, so I like having one of the things I like getting this late game stuff where I can get Triton out there is it lets me have like a suite of vehicles that I can operate with. And so I might work on the drones for Triton. That could be something fun to do. So you see, this crane has a really good long reach. It makes it so I can do a bunch of stuff. When the pressurization update comes out, I plan on either making a new sub or working on the sub that I already have and updating all that. So that will be fun. The sub does fit on Triton that I built. So about a year, it was over a year ago, I put out the sub tutorial and then I built my own sub. And Phil gave me crap for it because I had like I think it was 2 weeks in a row. I got one of my screenshots in the announcement, and then skipped a week, and then the next week I had in the announcement, and one of them was that submarine. And Phil gave me crap because I literally had no paint on there. It was just an unpainted submarine, and the devs picked my picture. So Phil was giving me crap for that. It was like this devs picking an unpainted build to put in there. Okay. That's definitely easy to fit in here when you load it vertically. That's like one block off the center of gravity. That's it. One block. There we go. That definitely fits. The numbers are right. So it'll fit in there. It's not bad. I just need to probably put I'll come up with some sort of carriage to load these things in and out. But that will fit in here. You see there's a lot of space in here. I can put a bunch of stuff in here. So I want to kind of get a suite of vehicles going for Triton. All right. So insect fits in Triton. That's good to know. Oh, thank you, Aaron, for joining Captain's crew. Appreciate that. Alright, let's see. So we'll keep the insect. I have a bunch of vehicles. Let's start checking some of the bunch of these cars. I want to check them all out. This should fit. I could do a Magall. I'll come up with some sort of system to get those cars in and out. Alright, one notion is I can start working on the drone for Triton. Let's go back to Triton, and I need to figure out space. The final frontier. The drone. You know, I was gonna hold off on this until they do the pressurization update, because part of space, it's part of the space DLC. It's part of the game coming with space DLC. Essentially, it's they talked about they're adding the way the vehicles are going to operate now is, for example, right now, if I try to take one of these vessels like 2 kilometers away from Triton, they'll despawn because if you look here in the merge view, this is the main part. If any of these other color parts get 2 kilometers away from the main body, they'll despawn. And so anything I spawn with the ship needs to stay within 2 kilometers. That's the point of these. That's why they stay on. Everything else I have to fly out to it or, you know, take out to it. And so one thing I want to add is a drone, and this needs to go far. So I kind of need to measure my space here. So I want to go on I want it to be on the roof, so let's kind of do a quick little pinky measure here. So let's say, what's that? We'll do it on the other side. I was thinking here or probably back here. The mast is going to come up and be in the way a bunch, so let's figure this is probably our zone where I could put the sucker. So what are we talking? We're talking a max of 12 by 10 by 12. We're talking, okay. So 10 by 12 for that. What I should probably do is build the control console first, but I'm going to do everything ass backwards, as usual. So what's that? I can't remember which was which, but it doesn't really matter. So that's 11 by 10. Can we get a drone to fit in this spot here? 9 by 11 is, I think, what I kind of worked out. 11. Be tight. Bring in Dingling. Dare we use Dingling as the Dare we use Dingling as the basis? I didn't mean to open it like that. Let's grab Dingling. What's Dingling's dimensions? 7. It's going to be too long, but Dingling can be trimmed. 14? Yeah, so Dingling probably works. So let's start with Dingling. So Dingling is the firebug. This was designed for because, you know, you need a meteor or something or a volcanic something to light off a forest fire. You don't just get forest fires. I had to make something here that could go start a forest fire for me. And so that's what this was all about, was making a craft that I could go start forest fires with. How's it going there, Exorus? That's alright, Miles, you're here now. Didn't do too much, just a little bit of here and there. Okay, thanks, Rasmus. I started doing my first React video for Star Citizen. Then I scrapped it, but I'm looking there's one ship that keeps me interested in Star Citizen. You know, and so is the Hull C, and so that is coming out soon, very soon, even though it's 6 years late. But you know, it's coming out soon, and so that's like the big thing that's been you know, holding me interested in that. Sorry, I'm just sending a message. And so, you know, I was gonna do a react to. There's a guy. He's an architect. He does videos for Star Citizen, and he does like an architect reacts. And so his is all from the, you know, from the perspective of an architect and design and stuff, and you know, the design elements from architecture. And I wanted to do a react from a pilot's perspective. You know, I think CIG, they let their artists kind of build these ships, and then the other thing that I hate about how Star Citizen does things is they do it so that you know, they have it's 2 games essentially. One of the games is holding up the actual game, and the problem is that you know, one of it's a story game, which I have no interest in. The other one is like the open world, and so I'm interested in the open world. The problem is they make some of the vehicles work for the story game, so like they build some of their ships like first-person shooter levels, so that, you know, and so things are oversized so that you could have a first-person battle in the ship that's supposed to be a cargo ship, you know, so that's kind of obnoxious. All right, so what I want to do here is let's look at. I should be able to fix a bunch of this because, like, compass, roll tilt, all of that is going to be able to be, like, all these, desired altimeter, all this stuff can go. I have to replace it, though, with some temps. Like, seat can go, so much of this can go, a lot of it can go because of the physics sensor. Again, that was a huge upgrade, was the physics sensor. That was awesome. So let's go to So just by being able to use the physics sensor now, I can really get in there and fix some of these builds that are overly big. Like that was really truly a huge update because it makes it so that a lot of small stuff is now viable where it wasn't before. Like, you're gonna see that the reason Firebug is as big as it is because of all how big the microcontrollers have to be. And I'm going to be able to strip this microcontroller down to almost nothing because it's going to be remote control, but it's also, I'm going to be able to go in and take out a bunch of the crap to like angular speed sensor. I need to figure that out. So what angular speed is what? Where is the physics sensor? Right here. Let's see, angular speed. Angular velocity. I'm trying to think which one I need here. Let's do this. Because I have no gyro in this, and so I have to make all my own essentially. Angular yaw. Okay, so that's yaw. Okay, so that's the one I want. All right. All right. So I'm just doing this to figure out the node on there without having to play with it. 11. Okay, so 11 is the channel. So like I can come in here now and change all these numbers up, and then I can get rid of so many of those nodes because of that. So it really lets me build some small stuff, which is great. Okay. Just be able to start chopping some of this stuff out of here. Desired heading is going to have to come from that's this is going to all come from the command station, so I need to build that as well. Might take a break from this and go play Tarkov with Monk at some point, and go make it. Probably end the stream, restart the stream, but I haven't decided yet. We'll see. Kind of wanting to play some Tark lately. Let me see. Station keeping p-value roll. Okay, roll. All right, roll tilt right here. So I need to find the roll tilt, and then it needs to be inverted, probably. So let's find the roll tilt. Where's that? Roll tilt is where? Roll tilt. So yeah, the roll tilt on the physics sensor points the opposite direction. So let's do this. I made a little jig here to. So this is my physics sensor test rig, and so like I can go in here and quickly, whenever I need to like know which one does which, I can just quickly do this. And so what I do is I can tilt it, and so X matches the tilt sensor, so it's X. Y is the other way. So X is the one I want. And then let's see, which one's X? X is 16, I believe, 16. So 16 is the channel I want for that. So right here, roll tilt is gonna go 16. 16, okay, roll tilt, where do you go to? Just there, okay. So like all these are getting deleted because of that physics sensor, so really huge update that was. Pitch tilt is here, so that's gonna be, what was that, 16? So whatever the other one is, update. Whatever Z was, I'll just check it really quick here. I think it's 15. It's better to check it. Yep, 15. This panel is an absolute mess, but my autopilot. My more recent autopilot panels I've cleaned up. They're less of a mess than this, but all right. So that is there. I'm gonna change the way this works here. I'm gonna get rid of the second stage at some point, but we'll deal with that later. Checking to see what else I can get rid of. I don't think I need Yoffin. Unless it's going somewhere else. We'll see. Let's see. Desired altitude. Altimeter is... let's find altimeter on here. So altimeter is now the number 2. It's the Y position, so that's 2. There it is, right there. What are we getting rid of here? Compass, angular speed, yaw, roll and pitch tilt, altimeter. Okay. Roll tilt's gone. Compass is gone. Altimeter's gone. Pitch tilt's gone. Angular speed, yaw's gone. Alright, good. Vertical speed I can make on to, but alright, so I need to add in the physics sensor. Physics sensor. Where the hell is it? Right here. Okay. That's all right. Okay. I think that is it. Yeah, put this in anywhere. It's not really a pain. It's not too bad there. All right, so that takes care of a lot of that. Let me see what I can do with the panel. What are you? Are you? That is linear speed. What's this in the back here? AP pass through. Ugh, I gotta screw with that again. What is this? Bearing panel. So the bearing panel can go, I think. What I need to do is essentially put the bearing panel on that. All right, good. So I'm going to save this up. And then I'm going to take a break from that. I don't want to work on that too much. It's going to be just me setting microcontroller the whole time. But that is good. So we kind of got some progress on that. What I need to do, too, is I need to start working on the standard here for the drone controller. So one thought is this. This is kind of a mess, but... So actually, I'll go back to the other base for a second. So I made the UFO drone for one of Jersey's challenge. He had a challenge to make a drone, and so I made the UFO, which he didn't fly very well, but kind of has an interesting gimmicky flight mechanic to it. So let's see. I think this is the release version. Yeah, here, so fly the drone a little bit. So this is the drone room here, so I could get this working. So play with this a little bit. Try to remember how to work this thing first. Okay. And then you turn on the AP to get the stability hold. Prop pitch, maybe? Okay, I think I have a color code. I think it's blue for vertical flight, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is like one of the reasons why I implemented. I read all the instructions when I do a review. Is I've been kind of annoyed a couple times people not reading the instructions on my builds. So. You suck. I have to have damage off. Grow. So like, let's see. Vehicle damage off. Is this the most recent version? No, this is not the most recent version. I renamed it UFO. Okay. So this is the released version for the challenge. So that's why it was all screwed up. So I was like, I thought it was a trailer. It is a trailer. You see, that wasn't even the most released version. So this is the release version. So I like this drone room because it has all these monitors that, you know, you kind of feel like you're sitting on the build. So I still want that. I want this. Now I can actually fly the sucker now. So meant to be spawned outside. It was at TT base where this was for the challenge, but what is going on here? I forget how this thing runs, but I had it color coded, and I don't remember the color codings on it, so here we go. Supposed to take it off outside anyway. But like, so I'd like the drone room on Triton essentially to be like this, so that you come in and you sit and it's all monitored like so, and you can watch it and fly it. And then we can turn our rotor, we can tilt our rotors. This thing's actually pretty fast. And so the gimmick with this is the pod stays centralized, but you see I can tilt the body. So there we're doing 183 knots. Let's go increase prop pitch. There we go. Oh, that's too much. I didn't put the gear up on the drone. I'm gonna do that. But this is the UFO, so something like this for a drone room on Triton would be kind of nice. You know, maybe this has all the seat controls on it, so maybe I'll take this and let's see if I can do a flyby here. I'm trying to do a flyby. I got a flyby. I just want to try to get close. There we go. All right, that should fly by with where we can see it. You just barely see inside of it as it goes by. Hopefully it's low enough we can see it. There it is. There we go. This thing's fun. I like this thing. But it'll be kind of fun to have a drone room in Triton where I can run some drones. You know, so like one of the things would be like having so like if we have a rescue that we need to search for, Triton can send the drone out and go look for the rescue and then mark the coordinates. Let's see if I can go pitch prop. Where the hell's rotors? Rotor up. Okay. I'll try to put this back in vertical flight mode. There's a bird. Bird's pissed off that I'm flying around. So yeah, oh, there we go. Careful here. Usually, if you get the rotors back in the vertical position, it will straighten out. But yeah, that's yeah, that's kind of what I want to do is get a drone room. So it'd probably be easiest if I can just get this sucker. If I can just get this sucker ported in, that would be kind of a thought to do a quick tour of the UFO. There's the UFO. Seating. This is for medical dissection over here. That is there's a UFO in the back. There's a guy's head in a jar here. And then it has this little HAL 5000 head on it, and that's the drone version. And then we have a UFO version, which is I have one that I can pilot. So this is the pilotable version of the UFO. This actually is a really good rescue vehicle. Heaters, gear. Okay, tilt rotor auto transition. Prop pitch, feather prop, thrust. I'm not sure what my rotor pitch is supposed to be, so that's part of the issue here. Is don't know what the pitch is actually supposed to be. So like the body, see, like the body will rotate around the cab. The cab is stabilized. So like, let's see here. That's how this flies. The gear up. That's it with the gear up. Yeah, it's actually pretty fast. Let's see. Let's go. Thrust is maxed. Let's go ahead and we'll start tilt. Let's do rotor tilt auto. There we go. Okay. Which way is it going? What does rotor tilt auto even do then? Okay. Rotor tilt forward. There we go. And it's like, see, I have these color-coded thrusts. That was one of the things Jersey didn't really read. Our color-coded prop settings. So he didn't really read that, and it was kind of obnoxious because it's like he got confused with the body tilting like this. You know, it's like a helicopter. You rotate the body like the helicopter. You want to go forward, you rotate it like that. But he got confused, and I just stalled us. But you know, it floats, so it makes it good for rescues. But a fun, kind of a cool vehicle. And see the alien. And then let's see. Let me read a couple comments here. I might switch over to Tarkov if Monk's playing. We'll see. Let me read some of his chat. Explain why double PID APU for the fire truck? Sure. So Miles is asking why double PID the APU for the fire truck. Let's see. So essentially what I'm doing here is, let's see if I find it. Where's APU? So what's going on here is I want a couple things to happen. I'll find where the hell they are. Where's the two PIDs? Okay, so here's the first PID. So what the first PID is doing is essentially I'm saying, hey, I want you to do this job. I want you to maintain my battery at 100%. All right. And so what that's going to do is that could give me a number that goes up to 1 million, and it could give me a number that goes down to -1 million. And so then what I do is I clamp it, and I clamp it within the minimum RPS value I want, and I clamp it to the maximum RPS value I want. Because I always want the engine to be at the RPS range that I want it at. So this is going to give me numbers, like I said, this could go up to a million, let's say 1,000. This could go up to 1,000. This could go to a -1,000. The engine can't run at a 1,000 fuel or 1,000 air, and it can't run at -1,000 fuel, 1,000 air. So those numbers are best when converted. So what I'm essentially doing is making this say, okay, when you need a lot of battery recharge, when your battery is very low, it's going to give me a large number. And then that large number is going to come in here. It's going to be clamped at a minimum value of 4. So, and it's going to be clamped at a maximum number of 15. So no matter how much battery, no matter how much this PID's screaming at me to put my fuel at 1,000, this is going to say, okay, you want 1,000 fuel? You can't have 1,000 fuel. You can have 15 fuel. And so this PID says, I want 1,000. It goes in the clamp. It says, okay, you can have 15. Then it goes to this PID and says, hey, he wants 15 right here. So it says, hey, give him 15 RPS. It takes my request for 15 RPS and it compares it to the current RPS. And it says, okay, we're at 4 RPS, which is idle. And he wants 15 RPS, and then it goes into a standard PID. So this is essentially auto throttling for me. So this is This is like me having my hand on the throttle, the first PID. Okay, battery's really low, and I push the throttle all the way up to 15. Then this will give me 15 on the engine. And then as the battery starts getting more charged, it's going to be like pulling the throttle back. So eventually, it's going to start to get lower than 15. So now it's going to say, hey, give me 11 to keep the battery charged. And so this is now going to give me 11 RPS. And then it's going to say, give me 10, give me 9, give me 8, give me 7, give me 6. And then let's say it stabilizes and it's now says, okay, if you give me 6 RPS, then I'll be happy. And so the reason I double PID it is you could theoretically do it with one PID, but I find this works a lot smoother. Is let this one go cray. You notice the difference in the p-value numbers? This has a p-value of 1,000. This one has a p-value of 0.18. So they have really divergent p-values. By doing this, I can let this one have a really high number, and it will, even if it gives me a RPS of 1,000, it doesn't matter. The clamp's going to keep it under control, and then this one can have the range, the p-value that I need to keep the engine running right. So you can do it with one PID, but you often find that the p-value for battery recharge is not the same as what is conducive to have an engine. So by doing it this way, this one's just essentially it's doing a throttle, and then this one is converting it into RPS. So, you know, if you did it like, say I just clamped this out at 1, it would give me a max throttle of 1, and then it would bring it down. I could do that, but this is more this works better and is more elegant and more responsive, I find. So that's why I double PID. Does that make sense? E.T. returned home. He did. Yep, that was me. Built the UFO. Yeah, it's a little bit. My screens are all set to high in game, so let me see. Let's see. So yeah, like monitor quality's high, so I don't have a problem with it. Yep. Yep, exactly. Yep, so PID 1's just saying, hey, how much battery? Oh my god, we need a lot of battery. And then the second one is converting that into a usable RPS value. So that, like, for example, I've used to do my autopilot with double PIDed. I don't do it anymore because the game doesn't smooth it all that right, so I don't like it. I'm trying to decide if I want to switch to. I think I'm going to switch to Tarkov, guys. Let me try to figure out. I'm kind of let me play with a couple other builds, and I'll switch to Tarkov. Kind of need a little inspiration for Stormworks, and I kind of want to take a break. This thing I want to get working. I was kind of, this was, let's see. Of course, I didn't label anything. This thing I'd like to get working. Where the hell is the, I don't remember the controls for this. I'll probably switch to Tarkov. I'm kind of in... one of my friends is on playing, and I don't get a chance to play with him much. So, all right, that's throttle. What do we got here? That's AD, left, right. 6 is what? 6 is the starter. Okay. This actually has the old school engines too in it. To go take this for a little romp. 2 is the see if I can get this thing running. I have it for electricity on. Why isn't this not running? What you doing there, thing? I don't know why it's not doing the starters. Starter right there. Why can't I get this to start? Oh, hockey 1, that's why. I was thinking it was 6. That'll be why. Okay. Okay. And that's because the RPS is too high. That's a friggin' death trap. Let me get Gauge out so I can read the RPS. I'll take this for a quick flight, then probably switch over to Tarkov. I didn't get a chance to play yesterday much. So I went over 60 RP. What's the gear ratio on this? Spinning thing of death. I gotta check the gear ratio. I can't be over 60 RPS, so I need to check the gear ratio. 9 to 1. 9 to 1. Okay. Let's see. 60 divided by 9. So we can do 6.6. Okay. That's why it does that flip out, is if you over rev the rotors. So. So like this is the old like just using a throttle nonsense, and that yeah, like it keeps wanting to rise. So when you set it by RPS, it's just much better. It will hold that the whole time. And as you put load in the engine, it will automatically try to fix itself. So. Yeah, I overloaded the engine there, and then it. So see, I'd want a PID that would control that to make sure that's always at the right RPS. Because as I load up the engine, I need the engine to spool up. Okay, was it 2? The gyro. Oh, come on. Don't go crazy, man. Don't go crazy, man. Just fly like a normal person for like 2 seconds. See, it's not going to want to behave because it's over 60 at the moment. So, something like this would be kind of cool to make, a little flying drone like that. I'm not making anything right now. I'm kind of wrapping up. I'm going to go play some Tarkov. Let me see. But, so the, what do you call it? The fire truck's coming along nicely. That's almost done. That's got to be out. They're going to turn that in tomorrow. So that will, that'll be out tomorrow. Worked on a car a little bit. So I kind of need to get re-inspired here, take a little break. This thing's working really well. I want to get a career build series out, so I'll probably work on that tonight, probably for tomorrow. But yeah, so I think I'm going to end up the stream there, guys. So thank you for watching. Let me just quickly go through. Thank you, everybody, for showing up there. FS Gamer, CG, Rasmus, Niv, Lucky 7th. Do I have a container hauler that spawns on train spawns or that can be carried by the train? The new one theoretically could. The container shifter that's on the workshop, that can be spawned at a train, but it's probably too big and heavy to get on there. Let's see. Thank you for showing up, Niv. Aaron, thank you, and thank you for rejoining Captain's Crew. Appreciate that. Thank you for coming by, Miles and X-Horus. Rasmus, I think I said thank you, Rasmus, for showing up. Officer, sorry, Officer, we gotta go. Lord Bison, thanks for showing up there, guys. I'm gonna switch over to Tarkov. I may or may not stream. We'll see how I'm feeling on that. But thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll see you later.